Welcome back to DIY Security. Today we are going to hop back into networking. We got Cisco Networking Build and Troubleshooting Integration Challenge B. So kind of give an update. Last time we did Cisco Fundamentals, and so no, we did Cisco's Essentials. Now it's Fundamentals. So I passed my last class with a 98. So happy for that. So I am feeling a lot more confident this time around. We got a lot more going on, and we'll jump right into it. So first off, a lot of what I've already done here is already configured. We're mainly going to be doing this other half, and it's mainly for the sake of time because I realized last time it was a little bit of a longer video and we're going to really focus on trying to knock this out. So first off, whenever you are connecting to a DHCP server, you're going to have to go into the router and you have to turn the router off first, and you're going to want to drag this HWIC-2T. You're going to drag it into the second port right here, which I already have. And you have to do that for both routers. Then second part, you're going to want to grab one of these serial DCE cables and pay attention to the topology of where it says DCE. And you want to plug that serial cable in that DCE side first because it actually does matter. If I were to plug it in the other side, then you'll have connection issues later on down the line. So you can see there the little clock. That's where we got it. So we'll jump in the terminal into this machine. And we'll scroll down to our directions. Go down to alpha. As you can see, it's a lot more in depth than what we had last time. But we're gonna get through it. Hopefully, everybody is doing all right, getting getting the hang of all the networking stuff. I know I definitely struggled this last week with some of the troubleshooting, but it's slowly but surely I'm getting it. So yeah, we're on alpha. So we'll go right down to alpha. It says assign the host name. A lot of the commands we'll do will be pretty much the same. I'm going to actually focus on some shorthand commands to help maybe improve your speed as well. So as you can see, we've already set up the host name. So you got to get in config T mode, and you just do host, and then you say whatever your host name is going to be, alpha in this case, which we've already done. The next thing we do is disable this DNS lookup, which I'll make it a little bigger so you guys can see. Disable DNS lookup, so you do no IP domain, oh, domain, and it's supposed to be lookup, but you could just I'll just put an L, and that works too. So assigned class is the encrypted privilege uh, exec mode password, which I had to enter a password, so apparently I've already set that up. But in case you forgot, it's enable secret class. And um, assign the Cisco as the console password. So we go into line com 0 and then pass Cisco short for password, of course. encrypt all the clear text passwords. You'll just do a service password, and then I do ENC for short for encrypt. All right, so we'll set our banner to US government property. So we could do ban not. So ban is short for banner. Not is message of the day. And let's say US government put an asterisk to close that off. Got that. We'll configure our SSH. So we'll do IP domain dash name is metatag.com, and we'll create a username, user, admin, secret, admin pass, and at this point we can create our RSA key, RSA key. So we'll do crypto key gen to generate RSA. And I guess we'll just create a new one. I think I've already done this. I don't think it'll hurt. And we'll do 1024 bits. And now we will specify that we're using SSH version 2. So IP SSH v2. And they want us to enable SSH on the VTY line. So make sure I'm not skipping anything here. Yes. So we'll go IP, I'm sorry, line VTY, and this is a router, so it's 0 space 4, and we'll do transport core input SSH. Guys, remember that. Make sure you remember to put login local for SSH. Login local will always be for SSH and SSH only. Everything else, like Telnet, just a normal login for the V2Y, is just going to be login. SSH, always login local. So now we will apply the addresses according to the addressing table. All right. So we'll go up, look at our alpha, find alpha, and we'll just jump right in. So we'll interface into S0, 0, 0. And I think this is the one that actually needs, yeah, we need to set the clock rate on here too, which that's pretty easy. You just do clock rate 128, 128,000. Okay, got that down. IP add 130, 130.0.1 submask of 255, 255, 255, 252. Go up on int G00 IP add 10.10.10.1 with the submask 255.255.255.0. Now this is where it gets a little different. So we'll int into G0 slash 1.50. And now this time we have to encapsulate this these sub interfaces. So we'll do inc short for encapsulation, D short for dot. I'll do the whole thing just once. D for dot, and it should all autofill dot 1Q. And then we're just going to put the after the dot there's the 50. So we just put 50 and boom. So now we've entered into it, we've encapsulated it. Now we're good to add the IP. If you try to do it out of that order, it's not going to work. You got to interface into it, encapsulate, and then you can add the IP. Otherwise, it'll give you some kind of error message. 130, 130, 50.1. And I'll even show you on this next one just to, I didn't add the subnet mask. So it's an incomplete command. If you don't add that subnet mask as well. 255, 255, 255.0. And we'll just use our up arrow key this time. Instead of delete. That will enter into it. And instead of encapsulating, I'm just going to demonstrate what it would do if you forget to put that encapsulation first. And just to show you the error that you get. That's not the error that you'll get. That's the error you get if you don't put a subnet mask. So put that subnet mask to. And that is actually strange that it didn't give me the error. But we're gonna encapsulate it anyway. Encapsulation, and then I'm gonna do it one more time just to make sure it went in right. And I'm not sure why it didn't give me an error. Normally it does. So interface into dot 99 and do our encapsulation dot 99 and then IP add with all we're swapping is this 51 to a 99. All right. So going back the direction, scrolling all the way back down to alpha. They want us to set a minimum password length of 5. So we will exit out of this. And then I think the command is security passwords min length, and then we'll just put we want the minimum length of 5. Okay, there it is. Now we're going to configure our OSPF. OSPF stands for Open Shortest Path First. So the first thing we have to do is router, open shortest path first. We'll specify this process ID of 15, and then we will do router ID, router ID, and then it's 1.1.1.1, And you have to make sure, I'm pretty sure you got to make sure you remember after you do the OSPF 15, that you got to put your router ID, otherwise you'll run into issues later probably. You can see it has changed from config and now we're in config router. So it's saying advertise all networks configured. So basically what they're doing, what we're going to be doing is making network statements. Do not send OSP have updates without updates out. Do not send OSPF updates out appropriate interfaces. Okay. This sounds just worded weirdly, but basically, we're just going to go back up to alpha. Uh, Everything that we see here is going to have a network statement. We've got to do a little bit of subnetting to do that. So we'll do um, net 130.130. So I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I don't think I need to interface up to it. Making sure. There that one, and instead of that one, we're actually going to put a zero. And then for here, it's we got to put a wildcard mask. So basically, all we're doing is 0.0 space 000, and it's going to be 3. And all we're doing is imagine on this 255, imagine you have 255, 255, 255, 255, and all you're doing is minusing from each other. So 255 minus 255, 0, 0, 0, and then we would have 3 left over for this one. So that's basically how we find our wildcard mask there. And it's going to be an area of, I didn't even see the area. Did they tell us? I just didn't look. Area of 30, okay. Area of 30. We have one network standard with we have to do that for all of them. Go back up. You see, we're getting a adjacent change, which is actually a good message we want to see. We do 10.10.10.0 once again because basically we're taking the reason it's changing into 0 is we find the increment and then we're using whatever increment uh, it would take. Well, we're getting the net ID basically using that increment. And all networks start at 0, but if you got a 1, normally it's always going to be 0. So it's kind of an easy one. And then 255, so it would be 0, 0.0.0.255. Because 0 minus 255, of course, 255. With the area of 30. Well, I'll see what I did. I didn't put net in front of there, so I should put net. There we go. And we can You can just tab up and do this one. So 0 instead of a 0, this would be a 50. And everything else, nope. It's just we got to change this to 255 as well. 255. Everything else is right. So if you mess up these, well, it's mainly the passive interfaces, I believe, that if you put a wrong passive interface, you won't get connection. So you got, we'll go over that in a minute. Um, finish up these network statements. Uh, 50, turn that to 51. Everything else is the same. And then we'll do the same with this. Turn this into a 99. That up arrow key, making it a little quicker. So now we'll do, I do passive, and, yeah. You just do passive and, or you could just put passive I and tab that are autocomplete. So now for the passive interfaces, you're going to add everything except for router to router communications. So router to router would be like the serial one, and then the serial 0, 0 going to serial 0, 0. These are obviously two routers going to each other. So we're going to leave that one out. Everything else is going to get added. G0, G0 is going to server, G01 is all of our sub interfaces. So for the passive interface, it's a little bit easier. You just specify the interface. You know, as the same, G0, 1.50, G0, 1.51, G0.99. Right, that down. So now we're good. We'll just Control C and we will copy the start just to save that. We'll go into our DHCP server A now. We can exit out of this. We go to A. We're going to go to desktop, go to IP configuration. They want us to set the static address, subnet mask, and default gateway. So going back up to our topology on our IP address table. DHCP server A, we can see here, has a IP address of 10.10.10.100. Subnet mask is already correct. Default gateway is actually already correct, but the way that you would find it would be G00 because you see that's the first thing it has to go to is this G00. So that's already correct as well, which normally it's not already. So we don't have to press save or anything, it automatically saves. I will go to services, we'll go to DHCP. And for this, is where it gets a little tricky. So we gotta make sure that we get all this right because if not, we will definitely run into issues later on. So the server pool, let's see. It's going to be having to come, looking at the topology, we're going to have to be going off charter because this other DHCP server is going off of Bravo and Delta for the server pools. So this one has to be Charlie because you can see it's on this side, obviously. Okay. So now that we know we're going off of Charlie, we'll look at this address table and we'll set up this address table for, oh, it's already set up, Foxtrot. So this is a configuration and troubleshooting. So we do have to make sure, we have to double check that they set the server pool up correctly. So we would go to Foxtrot and say, okay, VLAN 50. That means that it should be on the dot 50 on the G sub interface. Let's scroll back up to alpha dot 50 and double check this. And it looks like they've got the IP wrong. So it should be 50 51. Okay. Start IP address 30 30 50. But actually, we got to go back down to the directions because they're going to tell us. Uh, tell us right here. Exclude the first 39 usable addresses. So if we're starting at 1 and we're excluding the first 39, would just be 40. So the only thing we have to change is this 1 to a 0. And maximum users are 100. So now we can save this and we'll check out golf. So this one's going to be, they're going to exclude the first 39. And it's going to be 120 for the maximum users for golf. 120, we're excluding the first 49, so this would be a 50. And let's double check that IP address to make sure that they have that correct. So we said golf VLAN 51, which would be in the interface, sub interface on the router dot 51. So 1, 30, 30, 51, 1. That looks correct. Alright, so this should be good. And then we'll just press the save, and boom, we're done with DHCP for now. So, scrolling back down to alpha, let's see what else they want us to do. Set that up, did that. And they're saying now we just got to verify PCA should be able to ping PCD. If not, troubleshoot, find the issue. All right. So I don't remember ever configuring anything for the switch, but let me just, they may have already had it pre-configured there. Let's go on, look, yeah, for enable, for show run, and it looks like we've already got some port security going here. All right, so we are good. Now we need to do IP configuration. Um, Normally these won't already be assigned, but we'll go static DHCP and it should say successful, yes. We've set everything up. So we have successfully configured our DHCP server and we are getting the connection. And doing this actually, see, it was already connected, but I just thought about it. From me going from static to DHCP, it may have just triggered one of these port security issues. So let's go back into terminal, do uh, show show port sec for port security. And we can see here on 19, line 19, we have one hit. Also on 12, we have a hit for security. So if we go even deeper and look at, say, show port sec and short for interface, F019. Let's see, port security is enabled, it's secure. Oh, violation mode is shut down. So we should be good on this one. Let's see about F12. Enable secure up, shut down. Let's just do a show interface. Make sure that it's actually it's up, it's connected. So why does it fail? This is where the troubleshooting comes up. Show run, we'll do another show run. I'm looking at F12 specifically. The security maximum is 3. Double check these IPs real quick. We have that to Charlie. So we have 50, they're saying 30, 30, 50, 25. That's right. Three line, 51, 130, 130, 51, 25. That's right. Um, interface, 99, 130, 130, 99. So that's right. The default gateway, though, this shouldn't be network version, right? But if that's right, that should be VLAN 99. Go up to our alpha 130, 130, 99, 1. That is right. Switch port mode front allow VLAN 51, 50, 51, 99. Now this, yeah, double check myself, make sure I put all this in right. So we said Foxtrot is 50. Yeah, 50. That's correct. The Golf is 51, right? Only other thing I can think is why it's not connecting. It's got to be IP helper address. So we're going to have to go into the router and check if we set the IP helper address correctly. Go into this. Table class, run. So we should have a helper address on those sub interfaces of what do you say, 50 and 51, right? Yeah, 50 and 51. Okay. So all we do, we're going to look down at those interfaces. 50, we have this helper address of 10.10.100, which should be the IP address of the server, server A. We'll double check, make sure. Server A, 10.10.100. So that's correct. Only other thing, did we mess up the IP address itself? So digging deeper, we can add 0. Looks correct. 50.1. That's correct. I don't see. Oh, here's the 99. Something like that. And then our serial, and there's 255. Yeah, that's all right. We have some extra ones in here. These network statements. Like this is not even in our network. That's kind of weird. You can copy this. Yeah, I don't see a 13 anywhere in here. 130, no, that's right. 51, 10, 10, that's right. We should have one, two, three, four, five network statements. We have one, two, three, four, five, six. So definitely got to get rid of this one. I don't know if that's actually the problem. I know it's not supposed to be there. So all we have to do is go back into router OS TF. Let me say 15. That's what it was. Yeah. We gotta go into config mode. OS TF 15. And we'll just type no and paste that in there. And do a do copy run start run 3, 4, 5. And 4. That's right. And let's see if we have any left now. What's this? Oh, sometimes if I delete this serial table, it won't work. So I'll get into PC or the serial table. And we'll just add that serial cable. Go to this side first. Make sure it's the same as the topology and 00 going to 00. Well, does not say it's shut down. F19. Double check those emails are correct. Charlie 130, 25, 130, 130, 51, 25, 130, 130. Oh, the gateway's right. Not sure. Wow. Here's my thought process. It was already connected until I reset it. So maybe, maybe I just need to like do a reboot. Just try to reload it, see if it works. Yep. Okay. Well, you can see this other side, DHCP reset on the right. This one, reset on the right. This one, set up in the right one. Only other thing I could think to do is to disable port security and reconnect. That's 12. This needs to work. This needs to work. 302 needs to be out too. 202 is up. Over address is right. Everything's right that I'm seeing. This is why I say I struggled a little bit with it, but I may have to. It's really weird because I should it it came from D all the way to B. Take that IP address and this over here. And we got all those successful pings that I did before. We did ping 130, 130, 51, 50. And see, so we're able to go all the way across the line, which tells me we're going all the way, whole different DHCP server, through the switch, through here, across the line, through this switch, to this PC. I don't know why this is bugging, but that's how troubleshooting goes, guys. Kind of the steps that I went through, even though I didn't solve it. I'm going to end it for time's sake. And yeah, don't give up. Keep going at it. I don't want to keep you guys here forever, so we're going to cut short. But that is pretty much the steps on that show, kind of encapsulate. And if you found this video at all useful in any way, make sure you hit that like, comment, subscribe, do all that good jazz, you know. And, see y'all to the next one. Peace.